Hi guys, welcome to a new video. I haven't made one of those videos in a while talking about hints for a potential return for Supernatural in the future, a potential for season 16, as devastating as I have been and most fans about the show ending since that announcement back in March. It's been really devastating and it seemed really hopeless, but every time we see Jensen and Jared somewhere posting tweets online or in interviews, they always drop these little hints that they might actually be interested in coming back in the future. I talked about all of that on my channel. I talked about the CW boss opening the door for a return. I talked about Jensen and Jared talking about, they could go for 2 more years. Jensen talked about, they're not going to be gone, he promises. So yeah, as long as unofficial hiatus will be, who knows if they ever come back or not, but definitely all the hints point to a positive potential future for the show. So in this video, I'm going to look at a brand new interview for J2, Misha and Alex, but specifically J2, talk about it, once again give us a new hint that the show might come back in the future. And I'm going to also include previous hints we got that the show might come back in the future. So this video will be about all the signs so far we've been getting, or at least the top signs we've been getting, that the show will come back in the future. So let's get right into that new hint and talk about it. So we have here is a new interview by TV Insider of the guys, obviously promoting the official final season of the show. So let's see what the guys say around the 2 minute plus mark. I'm gonna skip the important part. So let's get to this part and see what they actually said about what could happen in the future as far as the show's return. Big hint, another one.
Also going to be kind of amazing to have that side-by-side comparison of like the season 10 cover and then the season 15 cover. No, I think it'll honestly help the audience be like, oh yeah, it is time for them to hang it up.
We have a saying on Supernatural, it's you're never really dead.
We have another one that the only way to come back is to die. So
that's true.
the people who have been in the most episodes have all died.
A lot of people that live, we never see them again. They just go off and live their lives. But the ones that die end up coming back in some capacity. Maybe that's a little foreshadowing to the show. Maybe it never really dies. I don't know.
Yep.
Do you know something I don't know?
Oh, did you guys just hear that? Again, they used like the Supernatural classic, everyone dies and comes back, as like a metaphor for the show itself. Jensen making kind of like a snarky comment about it, as he usually does, about, oh, who knows what's going to happen in the future. The show can come back, and that is a big possibility based on all the interviews I covered here on my channel before, either written interviews or video interviews. All great signs that the show might come back, and I'm going to play some of them at the end of that video, so stay tuned in for that. All positive notes. So again, Jensen and Jared here jokingly talked about, well, this might not be the end after all, because everyone who dies on Supernatural comes back, and this could be a metaphor for the show itself. So as we got season 15 to a great start, the premiere just aired. As much as exciting as that was, as devastating it was as well, because it makes you think, well, is this really the last premiere we're gonna get of that awesome show we're used to watching every year? It's very tough, it's very devastating. Hopefully this won't be the last season premiere for Supernatural. And based on the little hint right here, this might not be it for the show. Let's actually take a look at this part of the interview again, because it really is exciting and hopeful for the future.
The people who have been in the most episodes have all died.
A lot of people that live, we never see them again. They just go off and live their lives. But the ones that die end up coming back in some capacity. Maybe that's a little foreshadowing to the show. Maybe it never really dies. I don't know.
Do you know something I don't know? I'm so great.
Notice how they're all kind of in on it, but they don't want to say anything. I'm not saying obviously they agreed on everything right now, not telling us. Who knows? Even if they did, they wouldn't tell us. But I just genuinely think they really love the show. It's been pretty much their lives for the past 15 years almost. So I'm pretty sure they don't want to close the door for it for good. And Jensen literally said that in an interview a while ago, is that it would be foolish to close down the door on the show. Who would want to do that? So who knows what's going to happen in the future. But again, all positive hints. Always good to hear that. I personally have hope. It's up to you if you want to have hope for the show's return in the future. But for me, I definitely do have that hope for my favorite show to come back in the future. And the guys have that hope as well and are very much open to it. Both the main guys, Jensen and Jared, the guys who decided to end the show, and the guys who can decide to bring it back. And the CW boss is more than happy to open the door for him, as we talked about that earlier. So yeah, another positive note, guys, and I'm gonna play some of the other videos I covered before, covering those signs and hints of a potential season 16 in the future. So tune in till the rest of the video for that. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Are you excited about the prospect of the show potentially and very possibly coming back in the future? All those signs we're getting. Let me know down below your thoughts. Subscribe for more awesome Supernatural content. Till next time, as always, no chick flick moments.
What am I supposed to do? Keep fighting.
You know, the show could go for many more years and still be a great show.
Let's do it.
Leaving not only the fans wanting more, but also us wanting more. Like, I hope this isn't the last time I'll play Sam Winchester. Yeah.
We won't be gone long, I promise.
Weird decision. And then I'm going to sell him out. When Jensen got to Vancouver 2 weeks ago, I have a text message from him. He's like, man, crazy being back in Vancouver. I feel like we could do 2 more years. And I was like, let's talk, man. Like,
And do you guys have a last, like, a message to your fans going
It's an important
into
part.
season 15?
Thank you. That's all I got.
Nothing ever stays dead in Supernatural.
Oh, there you go. He said it.
Message?
Nothing ever stays dead on Supernatural. Did you guys hear that? Again, similar to Jensen's tweet when he announced the show ending all the way back in March. So that is the earliest hint we got that they're thinking of a comeback in the future. At first, you might think, well, Jensen is just like being funny, using like a joke from the show because no one ever dies on it. That's what you think at first, but I knew there was something more to it. And the hints we got later further confirmed that, obviously, especially the recent videos I made about it. And yet again, Jensen repeats the same line he said all the way back in March. That hint he left us in a tweet that flew over most people's heads apparently, and they just took it as a joke. Wasn't a joke after all. He repeats it once again here, and he's not joking. He is not joking. He's obviously not joking, especially with the context of everything as we've been saying lately that I've been covering. So let's hear it again. And couldn't be more obvious, okay?
Message to your fans going into season 15?
Thank you. That's all I got.
Nothing ever stays dead in Supernatural.
Okay, so Jensen has a chance to say something to us about season 15, about the end. He doesn't say thank you, he doesn't say goodbye. He says something even more important. Nothing ever stays dead on Supernatural, which is obviously the tagline of the show. Everyone gets revived. And he's talking about Supernatural overall here as a show, because that is a message about the show, right? Jared says just a generic thank you, which is nice, but we get the important bit from Jensen this time. In the last interview with Jared, who gave us a hint when he said, I hope it's not the last time I play Sam. And obviously you got a hint from Jensen before when he said nothing stays dead on Supernatural in his tweet, something similar to that anyway. We got a hint from him when he texted Jared. Jared told a story, he wants to do 2 more years of Supernatural. Not a movie, not a spin-off, Supernatural as we know it. He wants to do 2 more years of it, he can at least. Not that he would do it right now, but he's open to it. And he said in the new press tour for CW thing that he's not going to close the doors, he thinks it's foolish to close the doors. And he said they're not going to be gone for long. In another new interview from Comic-Con I also covered. So all those hints, I mean, you have to be honestly blind or just like shutting your mind. You have to be very close-minded not to see all those hints leading to something in the future. At least, at the very least, a big willingness from the cast, especially J2, who have the decision to end the show and to get back to the show if they want it. CW boss is open to them coming back too, which is awesome. So all those awesome hints that the show might come back in the future just keep getting better and better. Keeps getting positive and very optimistic about the future. Obviously, when I heard the announcement, I was heartbroken about the show ending. It's part of my life, part of all our lives for many years now, depending on how long you've been watching the show. So suddenly the show just not being there anymore, it's a very strange feeling, like it's like missing your friend who you keep seeing every year, but they're not there anymore. Because J2 are like our on-screen friends, Sam and Dean bros. and they're gonna be gone after all this series, and seemed very sudden too. So I'm very happy with all the hints we've been getting that there is some positivity, some optimism about the future. And I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in hopefully not very long future, hopefully in the near future, not longer than 2 years, hopefully. Hopefully they come back to the series, not a spin-off, not a movie. I want the show. I want them to get back to the show again. And they want that too, according to all the interviews and hints I've been getting from them. So, all good news, guys. I think we're going to keep getting those awesome positive hints as the new season starts and more interviews come along, and towards the end of season 15. I think we're going to get even more hints. It's going to be obviously an emotional official ending and everything, but the hints will keep coming, and very happy to keep covering them here on Weird Winchester for you.
Be there, and we've known them for 15 years. We've seen births and deaths and divorces and marriages. I mean, I met my wife in season 4, right? And I have 3 kids. We have 3 kids. So much has happened. I feel such a deep connection with everybody. It's gonna be rough. When
you think of like saying goodbye to your character in general, what about him do you think you'll miss?
Jeez. I'm gonna be gone. No, it's alright. I feel like I'll never really say goodbye to him, you know?
So the article goes on to say, when season 15 wraps up, it may not be the end of the line for Sam, Dean and Castile, depending who you ask. So let's see what they say one by one. Well, can there be a definitive on Supernatural? Padalecki asked. So again, the same guy, Jared Padalecki, who in an interview gave me the impression that the show may not be ending after all. He goes on to once again confirm that by saying, well, can there be a definitive on Supernatural? No, because everyone can come back. We all know that. So even if it kills him off, so-called for good, there's nothing for good in Supernatural, so that doesn't even make sense. Even if they die and go to heaven at the end of the series, there's no reason why they wouldn't be brought back for whatever new mission or, holy missions they need to do to save the world or whatever. So Jared Padalecki echoes that once again here, and echoes his own words in an interviews I've seen of him, especially the one I commented on a couple of days ago. So let's see what Jensen said and what Misha said. I was talking to him last night. I was like, I don't want to do the whole Game of Thrones thing where everything gets tied up all nice and neat. I'm like, let's just mess it all up, Ackles said. I don't think I want a definitive ending. We got to keep that. I think we keep that door cracked open for a feature in a few years. There's always ways to bring people back. That's Jensen Ackles there. Supernatural star Jensen Ackles says it's foolish to roll out more of sci-fi series in the future. Again, so as you guys know, the CW boss and network that airs Supernatural has always said for years that as long as J2 wants to continue making the show and ratings hold, he's gonna keep the show on the network. Ratings have been holding. J2 decided to end the show next season, season 15, unfortunately. So he is actually a big fan himself, Mark Bedowitz, CW boss. So he was also heartbroken about it coming to an end, and he talks about it in a new interview here, how it was a long and drawn-out conversation between him and the boys about the decision to end the show, and he talks a little bit more details about what they told him in that discussion. And he also talks about the spin-off, why he's not convinced of it, which I've discussed in a previous video before. And most importantly, he talks about if the boys ever change their mind, if we can convince them to come back, he's open to let them back anytime. Bedowitz then jokingly added, if you can convince him to come back, I'm open. I mean, the article says jokingly added, but joking doesn't mean it's not true. He is a big fan of the show, obviously, like I was saying, and I'm pretty sure he means it, that he is very open when the guys, if they decide to change their minds, he's open to welcome them back. So that is great. The guy is still a big fan of the guys and the show, and that's never going to change in the future if they want to come back. Door is very much open. Had there been plans to shorten their length, however, Padalecki would have been on board. He says, that'd be just like heaven, he continued. We'd go for 30 more seasons if we did that. Wow. Again, I remember this quote very vividly, and it's one of the quotes that gave me hope that the series is not ending anytime soon. Before the said announcement, the shocking announcement, this is one of the quotes that made me think, I don't have to worry about Supernatural ending anytime soon. My beloved show will continue on for many more years, and hopefully CW gives them what they wanted, but unfortunately CW did not give them what they wanted. The president of CW loves the guys and he wants to go on, but I don't think the decision is fully in his hand as far as like how many episodes, because he has the whole company pretty much. The decision probably comes somewhere above him, like the owner of the network or something. So yeah, unfortunately, they couldn't give him less than 20. But as you guys see, Jared here says he would be in heaven if they approved like less shorter seasons, less episodes, and they would go for 30 more seasons if they did that. We did talk about it. That was a big discussion with the network and the studio, but mainly the network, again, as CW, because they're the ones who need the content in order to sell it. Alas, what could have been? That's the article saying that the show could have gone on for much longer if the network did give him what they wanted, shorter